Welcome back to Robinson's Auto Tools and Time.com. We're back today with this RAV4. In the previous video, we removed the transmission. Now we're going to take it over, get set up, and start tearing it down and see what failed. I've been doing terrible keeping my camera charged lately, so hopefully the sound's working. .10mm, we're going to zip off the filter. Start by removing the valve body here. Just push-in style clips. That looks like an 8mm there. Need a little pick for that one. Man, they didn't make that one easy, did they? Alright, those are all unplugged. Alrighty. Oh, look at all that metal. There he is. Not too much. Pretty good. I think this can come out now. Spring. Alright. So we got a little bit all kinds of pieces in here. Curious to see what came apart now. Look at that boy. She has a double spring in her. Out there, the guy that just left there, his name was Matt. He has a fabrication shop. Met him through a place that I work full-time for the last 20 years. Started there in my early 20s and worked my way through maintenance and reliability, and then all the way up to engineering, where I'm at now. All on the side, we've been building this business. I've been taking you guys along the whole time, and been saying one day I'm gonna take the next step once I felt it was time. And guys, it's time. I'm taking the next step. Matt was one of the first to know. That's how much of a relationship I have with him, and how much of a cheerleader he's been to this business. So you got a little bit more of the heart of this transmission. You're seeing the heart of this shop starting to beat, and we've been making a lot of investments. And when you hear of a shop that's built one piece at a time, or that song, this is a true testimonial to that. And you can look back through all my videos and see we literally built this business one piece at a time. A lot of countless hours, a lot of time away from the family, but a lot of time with you guys. And so I hope you're ready to spend a little bit extra time with me. Looks like I probably just zipped this cooler off. That's one of those things that are gonna go anyhow. So guys, this might not be a total rebuild video, but at least you got some good news out of it. Whether it's bad news for this customer, I hope you take my news as some good news. A lot of people might think I'm crazy leaving a financially secured position. You know, they treat me really well. That's not all there is to life, guys. And I hope you guys take the time, if you're ever given the opportunity, to chase your dreams as well. If it was bad working for somebody, I wouldn't have done it for the last 20 years. So I'm just being honest with you. I really enjoyed working where I've been working. And it's opened so many doors for me. It's made this possible, along with everything else. However, when I was younger, I heard a quote one time, and it was something along the lines of, you have a couple options. You can chase your dreams, or somebody will always be willing to pay you to chase theirs. And for some reason, that quote has been sticking in my head so much lately that I just knew it was time to pull the trigger, and then I applied for the inspection station license through the state. The state came down, they blessed the shop, did everything they had to do, and gave me the stamp of approval. So now I'm a full-time inspection station. It's time. Everything's falling together. The pieces are falling together. I lost a lot of loved ones over the years that had just made it to retirement. I just gave some of the best 20 years of my life to someone else's dreams, and now it's time for me to start chasing mine even further. All right, so we got this cooler off. They say that this is some of the reasons for the failures on these transmissions. I'll let the transmission guys out there let us know if that's factual. But they say those little coolers weren't efficient for these transmissions, and they would get worse as time went on, and the transmission fluid would actually overheat. Transmission would overheat, hard parts, and eventually lead to a failure. Now I'm going to take and open up the top of this case. I'll be using a 12 millimeter. Whew, got movement. Oh no, there it goes. Must have been just a little silicone or something. Back, sorry, I had to take a quick break. I had to look at that BMW, which you'll see a video coming up in the mix here. I believe I'm making the call on the water pump. I'm going to have that video out there. I just sent him a quote, but if you guys are fast enough and you correct me, then maybe we'll go a different direction. But for now, I'm recommending the water pump and also the thermostat while we're there. So now you can see why I got to take this transition and move on to full time here. I'm going to take and remove the differential. This should lift up out. We got this like a needle bearing washer all right here. Lift this right up and out. Everything looks good over here. I think next I'll remove the pump. Most likely, I think it might be the low revert. Looks like I'm going to have to remove this, is that the park linkage, maybe? Oh, it does come out. Look at that. We'll leave all this together for now, because it doesn't look like our failure's down in here. But we can start unpiling it. Try to do it to where you can see. After pulling this back cover off, guys, I'm just going to cut to the chase. This transmission is not going to be serviceable. There's some damage to the casing from the metal that came apart. You can see it was pretty violent. So it was definitely on this side that we had our failure. So instead of wasting too much time on this one, pulling it the rest of the way apart, what I'm going to do is try to locate another transmission. And I'll keep you guys posted here. But there's the carnage over here. It's something that I haven't seen done yet, but maybe has been. However, these transmissions are very hard to come by, especially the four-wheel drives and these RAV4s. And then if you do find them, they're up around $2,000. And that's if you could find them. So the one we were able to find locally, and I had to go pull it myself, was out of a Toyota Highlander, and it was a V6. But get this, it's the same casing, and it has to be a certain year, and I'll share the cross-reference diagram that will have the same transmission. However, the final drive is different in the V6. Now, if you had it with the 4-cylinder, I think the final drive is the same. both the V6 to bell housing and the final drive is a different ratio. Along with this back cover is different. So what I'm going to do, since the final drive is good on the old transmission, we're going to clean that up really well. We'll go through all the parts, but we're going to see if it's as simple as switching out the final drive, replacing this cover, and it'd be a plug and play unit. We're going to find out. This stuff I'm not going to use again, so I'll set this in a different pile. It looks like she's moving. So far, so good. Sometimes you get one or two that's stuck with a thread when you leave them in here like this. But you also got to keep in mind that there's dowel pins and there's also silicone. Oh, there you go. One thing to note is it's bearing. So just remember earlier in the video I said the difference is the final drive. Well, this is your final drive, okay? Your final drive along with this gear here. If you wanted to count the ratio, you could do that now, but I already looked it up, and you know what? I'll count it just to make sure. 79, 24, 24 on this, 79 on that, 76, 77, 25. All right, so that confirms the gear ratio difference. This one's going to come out. Just lifts up and out, just like so. Look underneath. Just want to make sure I have no thrust washers or bearings that have to go underneath. This fluid actually looks nice and red still. I'm excited about that. This will be the new final drive going in, so white spot on the bottom. Ooh, this inner casement might be different. Yeah, that one's different. It's gonna be hard to be precise here, but I'll do my best with what I got. All right, well, at least the case seems to be the same, so that's a good thing. But this race is different, so we'll have to replace that. So I'm gonna have to remove the pump and remove this assembly with the planetary. And then we'll inspect both. We'll use our best judgment. I don't see anything wrong with the one we pulled out of the other car. I just got done cleaning it up, and I'll show you here shortly. The same thing with this final drive. Everything big that failed was on the opposing side. So these hard parts here are pretty robust. This transmission is supposedly good. 109,000 miles. It was the lowest mileage one I could find. Everything's looking good. I'm not sure if this pawl is going to go enough out of my way. Okay. Maybe. she fits out, guys. You can definitely take her out. What I will do is count the one I just took out just to make sure those two are the same ratio. It's my understanding that that's just a 1-to-1 jack shaft type. So should be the same. 53. That's it. All right, guys. Before I put these parts in, I'm going to clean them really well. Pull this race. Pull the race out of the other one, and then we'll start reassembling. Race out of this one. Now we're going to pull the race out of this guy here. There's a shim underneath there. I'm trying to be mindful of. Well, that went easier than I thought it was gonna. I'm sure it's the same. It looks identical. I can measure it. But what I'm gonna do is just put the matching shim underneath this race. I have a driver. You can hear it hit bottom. I was just thinking that I had to change the bell housing race and shim as well, but that's not the case because we're using the old bell housing. So abracadabra, we're in good shape. Take everything over to the parts washer. We're going to clean it really well, and then we'll start reassembling. Got this one all cleaned up. She looks good. Let's see if I can spin this down in there. Baby. There you go. I think we just fell all the way in. At this point, I should be able to put this back together. Didn't even have to take off the spring. How about that? Oh, I wonder if I should put some blue Loctite on. Let me get a wrench or ratchet. They're nice and tight. Remember, it's just aluminum. All right, next I'll take and clean up the final drive assembly, the case. We'll get ready to reinstall everything. Let's see how it looks. So next I'm going to install the pump. Bouncing around a little bit with these videos, but we transferred everything from this case so far, as far as the mounts and everything, over to the new transmission. I'm still waiting for the sealant to seal the case up on this side. I'm going to take and zip the pan out now. It's just got 10 millimeters around the perimeter. All right, just realized the camera wasn't rolling for the installation, but we cleaned everything good. Made sure our overdrive seals were in. Our needle bearing and race is in on this side. O-ring is good here on the pump. Seal's good here for the differential final drive. Sealed it up. So it's 16 foot-pounds, which is like 192 inch-pounds. So everything is officially torqued to spec around the whole perimeter. Next, we're going to take and switch out the filter, reseal the pan, get that all made it back up. The new filter comes with a new O-ring, so make sure you remove the old one. All right, guys, it's about that time. We got the new torque converter. She's installed. You don't want to ever use, if you have a failed transmission, you're better off just changing the torque converter while it's out. That's a good rule of thumb, because all that metal or whatnot, especially what was going on inside that other transmission. And this one was, there's two options for this. And this is a 9-inch bolt pattern. So opted to get a new one. So she's in, everything's switched over, case is all sealed up. So it's time to roll it over and see what we can do.